Live from the KAKE studios, this is KAKE News on your side at 5.
Wildfires race across prairie land in south central Kansas. The fast-moving flames, fueled by strong Kansas winds, threatening some small towns. Firefighters unable to keep up. And we do continue to track that breaking news. A state of emergency now in place in parts of south central, southwestern Kansas. That fast-moving fire burning more than 41,000 acres.
Believe it or not, this fire started last night in Woods County, Oklahoma. The winds pushing this fire into Barber and Comanche counties, where it is now enormous. We have live team coverage of the fire danger. We begin with KAKE's Deb Ferris live in Barber County, where so far the fire cannot be stopped. Deb.
Yeah, guys, take a look behind me. I'm just going to go right to the fire there. You can see it is burning very quickly. This fire was not this close when we set up there, and you can see it's burning very hot. Firefighters have been battling this all day. Volunteer fire crews raced to try and stop the wildfires from jumping Highway 160 just west of Medicine Lodge, but it's too late. Winds gusting from the southwest pushed the flames into this untamed pasture land. Trees and dry grassland eaten up by the fire as it races toward the tiny towns of Lake City and Sun City.
I'm going around town making sure that the old people are out and trying to be the last one out other than the older people. We got to get them out first.
Emergency crews advise everyone here to evacuate.
I hope like hell it don't burn and go to the house.
Fire crews from every surrounding community have been out here since the fires crossed from Oklahoma into Kansas Tuesday afternoon.
About the time they've worked their way around the country roads and the trails, the oil lease roads, to try to get in front of it, it passes them by and they have to start all over again.
Farmers and ranchers are watching the fires closely, hoping their cattle and property stay safe.
It's the worst possible situation as far as wind. If they don't get this thing shut down pretty quick, it's going to rank right up there.
Yeah, take a look right here. This is happening live. This fire crew just arrived here on the scene to fight this fire that is trying to cross River Road just west of Medicine Lodge. You can see how quickly those flames move with this high wind. A very dangerous situation out here. All the roads coming west out of Medicine Lodge are closed at this time because of all the smoke. And I can tell you right now, there are more than one fire. There's more than one fire out here burning, because this one is further west of the one that we were at earlier. So they're just keep on coming and they're moving very quickly. Back to you.
Debbie, please be safe. All of our crews out there, please use caution.
Be safe. Chris Frank's out there too. You might want to think about moving. The fear right now is that the fire will move into Medicine Lodge as the cold front comes through and the wind shifts directions.
Yeah, people there are now preparing in case they have to be evacuated. Monica Castro now in Medicine Lodge on what's being done to prepare.
Yeah, we were just briefed over here about an hour ago. They said, they're fighting fire in 4 different locations. Now, as you can see behind me, we do have crews. American Red Cross is out here. If you take a look over here to the side, that's just the water that they've been getting to obviously help those firefighters who have been out there for several hours. Now, what we are told is that they are not evacuating Medicine Lodge at this time, but they said, if the need does arise, that is something that they will be tackling. Now, just to give you a perspective of what they're dealing with out there, and I'm sure Chris and Deb have probably told you this, but one of the main things that they're dealing with is how tricky that wind can be at this time. Also, they said that the canyons, just the terrain out there, is giving them a fight out there. Now, here is part of the briefing that we heard earlier.
Or if the wind would just blow in one direction, I think it would help them guys out a whole lot. It's swirling out there, and it's killing us. That is making it super duper hard for those guys to do their job. It's going one way, and then the next minute it's going the other way. I've been monitoring the fire all day long.
Now, once again, as you can see, I'm just going to kind of give you a perspective right now. If you take a look at the sky, it kind of looks like an orangey brown, and it's very windy out here, although that wind just keeps kind of coming and going over here. A lot of dirt and dust is just swirling over here. So as they mentioned, the wind definitely a factor in fighting the fires over here. Now, we'll give you more updates as they bring them to us. For now, we're reporting live. Monica Castro, KAKE News.
Our team coverage continues now with more on the volunteers stepping up to help battle this enormous fire.
Help's coming in from all over, including oil service companies in South Central Kansas. KAKE's Chris Frank live with new details. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Susan and Chris, I can guarantee you that these folks here from the Pratt County Fire Department are more than likely volunteers helping out here. There are dozens of fire departments out here, and firefighters are telling me, yes, they're volunteers, 90% of them. But it's just the firefighters. There are oil service companies that are stepping up with their water trucks to help battle this blaze.
These firefighters, they're just kind of scattered, and they can't make it back and forth to town to get water, so we'll just take it to them wherever they need it.
David Brown Jr. would usually be using his large water truck to haul wastewater from the oil wells, but oil well service work is slow now anyway with the price of oil down. So today, his 2 water trucks and those from other oil service companies are here volunteering to carry water to the volunteer firefighters so they can battle this fast-moving blaze.
I want to help the community. I mean, somebody's got to do it. They just need help, and oil field is a lot of these farmers, landowners, and stuff like that have mineral interests in these wells, and it's just a tight-knit community. So we'll just all jump together and help out.
Yeah, and so those volunteers with those water trucks enable these firefighters to stay closer to the blaze so that they can, instead of driving back into town and refilling, they've got water scattered all over the place, and they're keeping in communications with the firefighters. And I got to tell you, I can attest to how fast moving this fire is. A couple of times I got on roads, I was surrounded by fire, and there was just nowhere to go but just keep going, even though you couldn't see the road in front of you. It was so hot that at times the cab of the vehicle was heating up. But hey, we were surrounded. This fire is simply moving that stinking fast, and even firefighters were getting surrounded by fire and having to battle their way out of the smoke and out of the flames. Right now we're live west of Medicine Lodge. Chris Frank, KAKE News.
Always tracking, always alerting, always protecting. KAKE First Alert.
And the conditions are in the process of changing, and everybody fighting this fire is aware of what's going on. But this is all smoke plume that you see tracking up from the southwest down here. That is all smoke plume all the way to Salina. You can see it if you look out to the west here in Wichita. As I zoom in tightly, the actual source points are at the western ends of these, but there are a lot of hot spots going on with these fires. And again, that plume is starting to turn more towards the east. It's going to start getting blown more into Wichita, even though we can see it. Now, this is an experimental infrared satellite picture. Where you see the dark black and the red spots, these are all hot spots being picked up by the infrared. So we actually have more coverage of fire ongoing from Comanche County into Barber County. So we're not done with this battle. And I want to point out another thing, too. Another hot spot has developed here, Reno-Harvey County along the line. So this is another fire. We don't have a crew on this one right now, but obviously they're going to battle this. So we're not done. We're all focused on what's going on in Barber County, but KAKE Land is still a tinderbox. Other fires can occur, and it looks like we still got one in progress here, moving out of Reno County into parts of Harvey County that we're going to keep an eye on. Also, winds are critical now, still gusting to 47 miles per hour at Wichita. Notice how they're turning west in Pratt, still southwest in Medicine Lodge, but over the next 30 to 45 minutes, they're going to turn more westerly in the area of the fire and then start shifting to the west-northwest. So that's going to change the fire. Going to start moving more to the east, then eventually moving down to the southeast instead of this track to the northeast that the fire has been on. Again, the fire crews are aware of this and anticipating. 77 in Wichita. You get on the backside of that cold front, temperatures already below freezing in Goodland and St. Francis. Now, the wind gusts and the wind shifts are bad things in terms of the fire. Here's one good thing of that front coming through. Look at the relative humidity in percent. 9% Wichita, 17 in Medicine Lodge. When the air cools down, the relative humidity increases, so the cooler air will help the spread of the fire. Unfortunately, the winds will still be gusting upwards of 50 miles per hour. As we look off to the west, yeah, that is smoke plume that we're seeing off in the distance. Winds gusting to 47 miles per hour. As they shift more to the west, that smoke comes into town, could cause some breathing difficulties if you have asthma. Goodland, yeah, we know it's a blizzard over in Colorado. Kind of a break in Goodland now. So far, only 3 tenths recorded, but Cheyenne County, some accumulating snowfall. We'll talk more about this crazy weather across KAKE land coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay. All right, in other news, the Central County Sheriff says a report of shots fired near a former Wichita elementary school, it was a false alarm. Central County Sheriff's Office and the Wichita Fire Department were conducting K-9 training this afternoon at Emerson Elementary, which is currently a vacant building. The sheriff says a K-9 handler was standing with her back to a transformer when it blew out. She and other officers thought she had been shot at. When officers arrived, they learned there was a power outage in the area at the same time.
New at 5, Westar Energy taking a fresh look at the safety of its field employees tonight after 2 of them were attacked within the last week. KAKE's Lily Wu here now with the details, including why the workers were targeted. Lily?
Well, Chris, the 2 incidents happened within a week in the Reno County area. In both instances, officers say customers tried to take the law into their own hands.
He was there doing a job, doing what he's paid to do, and essentially was staring at a gun.
Just yesterday, a Hutchinson man was arrested for pulling a gun on a Westar worker who was replacing a meter.
It's pretty surprising that it went this far. The one yesterday with the guy being held at gunpoint, that's pretty serious charges.
Last week, a Reno County man was arrested for attacking another Westar worker who was also replacing a meter. Both attacks are concerning to leaders at Westar Energy.
We are always concerned with safety. It's one of our primary goals. So when something like this happens, we're concerned about our safety of our employees, our contractors, but also the customer.
The company already conducts training for all employees, including how to interact with customers.
We ask our employees to be polite to the customer, to listen to what they have to say, be engaging to them, to listen to their questions and answer their questions to the best of their ability. And if there's something that they cannot answer, we provide them the number that they can call in, and hopefully we can answer their questions for them.
And officers offer this advice to homeowners.
If they have any questions, whether this person's supposed to be out there on their property or they fear something, please don't take law into your own hands. Call 911, we'll send an officer out, we'll investigate it.
Now, workers who are replacing meters will have this handout to explain the new technology. You should always be aware that Westar employees will be wearing shirts or caps with their logo, and all employees plus contractors will have a company-issued ID.
Great information. Thank you, Lily. Coming up, the presidential campaign taking another nasty turn, with the Republican candidates now taking shots at each other's wives.
Next, police chasing leads in the Belgium terror attacks, with one suspect in the deadly blast still on the run.
Investigators in Belgium say the terror attacks in Brussels were carried out by 2 brothers and at least 2 other accomplices.
Suicide blasts at the airport were the work of Ibrahim el-Bakawi and 2 other men seen in surveillance images. Bakawi's brother blew himself up at a city subway station. One terror suspect is still on the run. The bombings Tuesday, as you know, killed 34 people, including 3 bombers, and wounded 270.
Devote 2016 now in the race for president, and a new war of words between Republican rivals. A Twitter battle brewing between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz now. Trump claiming the Cruz campaign ran negative ads about his wife, Melania. Trump tweeting, quote, "Be careful lying, Ted, or I will spill the beans on your wife." Heidi Cruz responded to Trump's tweets herself, saying most of the things Trump says have no basis in reality. And we do continue tracking that breaking news out of Barber and Comanche County. We'll take you back live to the fire after this.
Weather Radio Tuesday next week. We're going to be up I-135 in Salina from 3:30 until 7 o'clock at the Dillons on Planet Avenue. Now, we still have severe weather presentations tonight. Derby, 6:30, the Public Library at Walnut Grove. Cottonwood Falls at 6:30 at the community building on 210 Road. And also Jetmore at 7 o'clock. That's going to be at the King Center on Main Street. The other talk that was scheduled tonight for Sharon Springs has been canceled due to the snow.
Now your KAKE First Alert forecast with meteorologist Jay Prater.
Welcome to springtime in Kansas. This is all snow across the Northwest. These are thunder showers and thunderstorms across north central Kansas. These are thunderstorms across the Northeast, and this is a smoke plume associated with the extremely widespread fires across Comanche and also Barber County. So this is all smoke, and it's getting blown by the winds that are coming out of the southwest, but those winds will be shifting, so the smoke plume will start tracking more to the east, and eventually the fires are going to start burning to the east and then to the southeast as the winds continue to shift. So you got these very large wildfires going on across parts of southwest into south central Kansas. Blizzard conditions returning to northwest. Now across the border over in Yuma, we're getting some reports already 3 inches of snow on the ground, visibility less than a quarter mile. 3/10 so far in Goodland. Haven't got a report out of Cheyenne County, but I think probably some spots close to the Colorado line. Already 2 to 3 inches of snow. And this is the heavier band that's rolling in now, so blizzard conditions will be returning to parts of northwest Kansas, including some accumulations of 1 to 4 inches. Now, Smith County, Osborne County, these are thunderstorms not severe. They're tracking to the northeast. We could see a few more thunderstorms across north central into northeast Kansas later on tonight. Here is the WeatherBug Network. Winds gusting at Collegiate over on the east side of town, 48 miles per hour. The Kansas Aviation Museum, 47. Look at Ellsworth, 45-mile-an-hour gust. Dexter, 42. Here at Weston, 13. Within the past hour, a 43-mile-per-hour gust. It's currently 73 degrees. Let's get you live to Goodland now. Here's the Frontier Ag camera. The snow still falling, kind of a break. So far, only 3/10 of an inch of snow, but we're sub-freezing at 31 degrees. The winds are 48 miles per hour, but they are out of the north. So as that front comes through, that's the big transition that's going to impact the fire. Notice the winds west at Pratt, southwest at Medicine Lodge, but they're already west-northwest in Dodge City and northwest at Garden City. So over the next 30 minutes, they're going to turn more westerly in the area of the fire zone, start pushing the fire to the east. Then they'll turn to the northwest, and we'll still get a gust up to 50 miles per hour. So that will be a major impact on the fires, and it'll start cooling down. 77 right now at Eisenhower, 66 Pratt, 30s and 40s once you get into the cooler air. Also higher relative humidity. Big band of heavy snow moving into northwest Kansas. You can see the spin. So as we go hour by hour with the RPM model, I think that front's going to be knocking on the door of Wichita about 7 o'clock. Then the winds will shift west and then northwest. And that rain will change over to snow with only light accumulations possible, but some temporary visibility reductions along I-70 in north central Kansas. The good news would be overnight tonight if we can get a few flakes of snow, a few drops of rain on the area where it's burning. For Wichita, again, might see a couple of drops of rain change over to a few flakes of snow, but by the time we get to Thursday, we're going to be back into sunshine and a sharply cooler day. So 75 at 6 o'clock, 20 to 50 miles per hour the winds. By the time we get to 7, 73 degrees, the winds out of the west, 20 to 50, windy and smoky. And by 8 o'clock, 68, the winds west-northwest, 20 to 50, as that cooler air starts to pull in. As we look at the 7-day forecast for south central Kansas, all right, that high tomorrow will be in the 50s. And guess what's coming up this weekend? Another chance for some rain. North central Kansas, that's going to be a chance for some rain and snow mix. Could see some small accumulations. Southwest Kansas, some rain and snow mix possible again this weekend. And even to the northwest, yep, this weekend could see another round of accumulating snow.
Never thought I'd say this, but we're going to look forward to those cooler temperatures.
We will.
All right, thanks, Jay.
We'll be right back.
We want to take you back out to that fire near Medicine Lodge, state of emergency as that fast-moving grass fire burning across Barber and Comanche counties.
KAKE's Deb Ferris is live on the scene as this fire sweeps through Barber County.
Yeah, guys, take a look behind me. You can see right here, there's a fire truck through the midst of all that smoke. I don't even know if you can see it, but the grass fire, this is nothing to mess with. I'll tell you, it's moving so quickly across 70,000 acres of land. So they are out here fighting it. They just can't get in front of it because of all this wind. Sun City, Lake City have been evacuated. We'll keep you up to date.
Jay's tracking the winds on that fire.
I know, massive smoke plume. We've been tracking this all afternoon long. Continues to move towards the northeast for now, but that's going to shifting more to the east as the winds are turning in the area of the fire.
We will keep you updated. We'll see you in a half an hour, folks.
For breaking news and your most accurate local forecast, KAKE News is on air, online, and on your mobile. KAKE News on your side.